I was like KD. KD came out on Twitter today and was like, I hate this. Might as well go back to East West. Like, this is ridiculous. I kind of was the same way. I was like, look, this is stupid. It is absolutely stupid. This is one of those moments where it's like you're doing too much. Like, Adam, calm down. You're doing too much. Yo, 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 what is going on? It's your boy Ayo, Mr. Ayo, my boy Mr. OK. And look, we only got a few minutes, so I want to jump right into it. You consistently have talked about the innovation of one Adam Silver in the NBA, constantly reinventing, coming up with new ideas. We're fresh off of the heels of, another successful NBA Cup, the in-season tournament, and innovation that nobody, there's a lot of critics, but seemingly in 2 years, we've found that it's been wildly successful. The competitiveness of the games has juiced up. So you've always been given that praise because you like new things. You're traditional, but you're not one of those, stuck in my ways traditional, right? The NBA today.
I believe that an old dog can learn new tricks.
You do. However, I want to see how you feel about this because the NBA today announced a new format for the 2025 NBA All-Star Game. And in the archives, you were on the record after last year saying, I will never watch the All-Star Game again.
Yep.
Let's see if you're still going to stick to that because they heard you. Adam listened. He listened to the Think RBA podcast.
He did.
And he said,
he watched our episode.
Yeah, he couldn't afford to get Mr. OK. He needs that view. He needs you to watch that game. So
you understand.
Totally. So a new format was announced today. Let me run through it real quick and start getting your thoughts. So it's now a mini tournament with 4 teams and 3 games. So it's no longer a one All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to be 24 NBA All-Star selections divided evenly into 3 8-player teams, with the 4th team being the Castrol Rising Stars champion from the Friday night Rising Stars game. There are 4 honorary team general managers: Charles Barkley, Shaq, Kenny Smith, and Candace Parker. Shout out to my girl Candace. Barkley, O'Neal, and Smith draft their rosters from the pool of the 24 NBA All-Star selections. Candace gets the Rising Stars, which that's an issue with that. But anyway, 2 teams are going to meet in one semifinal game, game 1, and the remaining 2 teams will meet in the other semifinal, game 2. The 2 winning teams advance to the championship, game 3, and the winner of each game is the first team to reach or surpass 40 points. That's the threshold. So it's going to be 3 games, 40-point limit, and this is supposed to cure the lack of competitiveness, make it more fun, make it more exciting. I'm not sure. I have so many questions. There's so many different ways we can start this. So I'm just going to start with, will you watch?
So, had they kept it the same, I absolutely would not have watched. Had they kept it the same. But this I like. This I like very much. So I'm going to be very much watching, very much tuned in to see how this plays out. Because like you, I also have a ton of questions. My first question being, why does Candace get the leftovers?
That part.
Not to say that the Rising Stars are like leftovers, but come on now. You got your superstars, and you still have your rising stars who are trying to be superstars.
Right. And why does the woman get the rising stars?
Absolutely. I think because maybe she's not as tenured as the other 3 are. That could be a way to justify it, per se. I'm not going to get into that though, but what I will say is I love the format. I love the way this is because this reminds me of how we play ball outside on the street, right? Blacktop basketball or even at the rec center, right? There's a limit. There's a goal you're trying to achieve. You want to be the first to that goal.
21.
So to be 21 or 11 or 13, whatever you play till with your group of friends, there's a number that you're trying to reach first before anybody else. And that's what this is. This reminds me of a miniature version of, remember a few years back when Kobe first passed away, right? When Kobe that year when he passed, they did that one All-Star game where they had to reach that number. It's plus 24, I believe, whatever that final score was for the 4th quarter. And that was some of the best basketball I have ever witnessed to date from an All-Star game after a very, very long time. And then they broke, right? They broke it. It was fixed, but then they broke it because of the injury factor, how hard they're playing. So I think this brings that competitiveness back where you want to be the first to get to that goal. And I got to lock you down now because I can't let you be the first to get to that goal. It's not about the time anymore. Now it's about the score. And when it's about the score, it's totally different. You don't have time. So I'm thinking, I'm imagining better defense, tougher shots, guys amping their games up, right? Because now you really got to show out and you got an all-star in front of you. That's one element of it. The other element of it is whichever team ends up playing the Rising Stars, it's almost like they get the advantage because now it's almost like a bye because those guys aren't as seasoned yet. They're still figuring it out. Although Wemby will be on the Rising Stars. So there's that.
So that's the thing. So that's one of the questions. So how are they determining the seeding, right? Like,
correct.
Which of the three squads, and also how are
I can answer that for you.
What?
I can tell you.
Okay.
I think it's 90% going to be off of voting, right? The biggest vote getters are the two captains. The third one will be the guy, the team or the number one vote getter would probably play the Rising Stars. So it's almost like that, right? First and fourth, second and third, based on votes, right? That's what I'm imagining. How else would you do it?
So
you flip a coin?
I don't know. I mean, well, and it'll be interesting to see how they do the whole. I'm assuming they're going to do a draft style on TNT. Sorry, not on TNT, on Inside the NBA, because they did say that they've got general managers. So I'm assuming that they're going to have like a 3-team draft with the All-Stars, and they'll start with, because the voting is the same. So the voting is still fan voting, and then that's going to determine the
starters
and the 10 starters, even though there's really going to be 15 starters.
Right.
And then the coaches will fill in the reserves, the 14 reserves.
Well, the GMs will probably be with the team captains probably based on that.
Well, voting. They're going to have to, so I guess that's going to be the question is, are they going to take the top 3 vote getters and assign them to team 1, team 2, team 3? Right. But again, I'll also be interested to see how they determine between Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck, like who gets which team. I mean, there's still so many details to be worked out.
You know what's beautiful about this? The NBA is a master with their WWE writers. They are masters at creating drama, getting you to tune in. Oh, what's going to happen? They're going to make a big show out of this, right? They're probably going to do something in set. They're going to make those 3 together. People want to see that, right? The group's back again anyway. They're about to be gone. So it's great. It's great for TV and ratings.
I mean, honestly, like I'm more excited to watch whatever that Inside the NBA segment is where they do that than I am to actually watch the tournament games, because unlike you, I mean, let me just say this. We didn't really talk about this a whole lot before we jumped on tonight.
Right.
And after hearing your perspective, I'm a little less skeptical, right? I was like KD. KD came out on Twitter today and was like, I hate this. This is, might as well go back to East-West. Like, this is ridiculous. I kind of was the same way. I was like, look, this is stupid. It is absolutely stupid. This is one of those moments where it's like, you're doing too much. Like, Adam, calm down. You're doing too much. There's a reason why your ratings are down over all the other top sports leagues. And now we're doing too much here. We're trying to artificially pump up this thing that these players are still not going to play hard for. Let's just bottom line.
Okay, that's what you
still
believe.
Not going to play. I fully believe it. Okay. I fully believe it. Just like the NFL, and then the NFL is a little different because it's at the end of the season. For the NFL, they brought back the skills competition, right? So like that part of it is fun, and they turned it into a flag football game. And flag football is like popular on the rise too. So a lot of folks will tune into that, but they're not trying to reinvent the Pro Bowl game to make it more competitive. They've just been like, look, this is just a chance for the players to get out there, have a little fun. Let's turn it into a flag football game. I think for this, we already know. And so for me, hold on a second. So for me, I don't see that they're going to be super competitive. I think that the plus 24 was cool. Also, too, it was so fresh and close to Kobe and his passing, right? That it just added that, if you didn't go hard, you were going to look like you don't want to be that guy, you know? You don't want to be that guy who doesn't go hard. Gotcha. But over time, it diminished, right? it just diminished.
Well, they
And
changed it.
and then they changed it, right? So it's just like I don't think that there's anything that's going to get them to play hard for a meaningless game.
Okay, you know when I knew I was on the right track? Well, actually, before I even say that, I'm on record also saying that when the NBA Cup came out, everybody was against it, including yourself, and I was so pro it. It was beautiful, right? It was beautiful.
But I didn't feel as strongly. I just thought, okay, this is going to be weird. How's it going to work? This one I feel much stronger about.
Okay, so you know when I knew I was on the right track?
When? For what?
When I knew that I had the exact opposite sentiments of Kevin Durant, because I seldom agree with whatever he agrees with.
You're funny. So I just like
I feel like I'm comfortable now. I'm comfortable when I heard him say that.
So for me, right, the other part of it too, and I think this would be my last point to wrap up with, is figuring out how they're going to do it. Are they doing it all on the same day? Like it's got to be on the same day, right? It can't be 2 different days, because if I went back and I looked at the last 2 All-Star games, right? So the East-West format, and then the one from 2023 that was Team Giannis versus Team LeBron. And in 2023, in the older format with Team Giannis and Team LeBron, they reached 40 points with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And then
they don't play defense.
And then in the game in 2024, the East-West, they hit 40 points with 3:58, basically 4 minutes left in the first quarter. And so to me, if you're going to have like that's 12-minute quarters. You got 12, 24, 36 minutes for an All-Star game for 3 games, because they're not going to play defense. It's still going to be the same,
But I think it's not about minutes anymore. It's about points, and that totally changes the dynamic.
But I'm saying minutes in terms of the length of the spectacle, right? Like normally the All-Star game is going to be like 2-3 hours, because there's going to be this first quarter, second quarter, halftime, but you're basically cutting into maybe 3/4 of a game. You're cutting out a whole fourth quarter.
No, time. You're not though, because in between, I'm sure they're going to do events. They're going to do some sort of entertainment. But even then,
we're here to watch basketball,
right? But at the same time, you have no idea how long it's going to take someone to get to 40. We don't know that.
It's going to be so quick.
Do you think it's going to be quick? I think it's going to take time.
It's going to be so quick.
We'll see.
It's going to be so quick. But
I'm excited, and I will be watching to answer your question.
So does that mean that we get to reinvent our actually watching it together in person thing? We can get the boys together?
Absolutely, bro. Because this got me excited. If it was that same last BS that we saw no, I'm not watching it. So I appreciate you listening in, Adam. Thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, Adam, and appreciate everybody else for tuning in. Till next time, it's RBA.